Yo, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Blue Lounge. Welcome to Daniel. Welcome to Dix, I guess. And Game Blazer. And welcome to everybody else who's in the chat. Lads, today we have a open stream. We have an open stream back like we did in the back in the day. We're not gonna make it restricted today. Today, everyone is welcome. Luke, DJ, everyone. DJ Sav, big up, mate. How are ya? Blue Class TV in the house. Everyone is welcome onto the stream today, lads. Today, we're going to be discussing all the stories that have taken place over the past couple of days and also some of the developments that have happened today. We're going to be talking about the signings that we've made, the signings that we're potentially going to make, the bumps in the road that have become apparent today in regards to Erling Haaland. Also, some of the developments in regards to Romelu Lukaku and other bits and bobs in respect to Abramovic and how he's going to be approaching the rest of this transfer window. That's what we're going to be talking about in a nutshell today. The link is in the stream. It's the pinned comment, and you're all welcome to jump on. Any updates? Yeah, there is updates. There is updates. I will be discussing these updates in due course. Ashley, big up, my man. Before we get into this, I just want to check something. Hold on a second. All right, 10 likes already. 23 of you in the chat. Let's hit that like button. Let's get the stream out there. I know people are still coming in. The stream is still getting shared by a whole bunch of people. So if you're able to share the link of the stream in your social media. Let's get as many people in here as possible, and let's hit the like button so YouTube algorithm starts to like this stream. All right, so what we're going to be talking about today. Well, firstly, I want to talk about excuse me, I've got a little bit of a cold. First, I want to talk about a story that was pretty much done, and that is the one regarding Marcus. So Marcus has been signed for Chelsea, and Chelsea are looking to finalize the Kounde situation. So Marcus Bettinelli has signed for Chelsea. Officially, he has been announced as a player for Chelsea. Now, this lad is a 29-year-old Englishman, even though he has an Italian-sounding name. He's a good backup to our goalkeeping issue, our goalkeeping problem. As you all know, we've got the African Cup of Nations coming up, and that is problematic with us having to lose Mendy quite soon in respect to that, or for a longer period of time in respect to that. So having signed Marcus is going to assist us in that. And in regards to Kounde, the situation with Kounde also looks pretty good, because we have seemed to have agreed personal terms, and also we have come quite far when it comes to the negotiations with Sevilla in respect to his signature. Now, apparently Chelsea are offering a whole bunch of players for Sevilla to pick from. Now, I know we were talking earlier about us offering them Kurt Zouma. Well, we did that in the stream yesterday. We did that in the stream yesterday, and we done that on a number of streams. So Zouma is a player that was offered with cash for Kounde. But apparently that wasn't it. Apparently Zouma is one of 3 or 4 players, because Bakayoko has also been offered. I believe Maling Sarr has also been offered. Zappacosta, Alonso, and a whole bunch of other players have been offered in the Conte deal in order for us to get the deal over the line. It's not only, it's not only Kurt Zouma. Lads, just give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Yeah, so I had to blow my nose. I didn't want to do it on camera. Sorry, lads. Daniel, correct. Daniel, correct. 1 of 6 players. Yeah. A whole bunch of players have been introduced into this deal. It is not only Kurt Zouma, because everyone thought it was Kurt Zouma plus cash. And Kurt Zouma is a fan favourite, let's be honest. A lot of us Chelsea fans have a soft spot for Kurt Zouma because of his personality, because of his persona and his relationship with a lot of the players. He's not a player that we would like to see leave, but at the same time, he's not a player we'd like to see stay unless he's given an opportunity to play. And Tuchel doesn't really fancy his playing style. Tuchel wants a ball player, someone who can play the ball out from the back. Kurt Zouma is a little bit lacking when it comes to that. Sudwaki, how are you? Sudwaki, listen, mate. I've put the link in the chat because I know you were complaining that on Twitter. So today's stream is open. Today's stream is open for anyone to jump in. So if you want to jump in, Sudwaki, love to have you back on. Yeah. So the other story that was a little bit interesting. Let me just get it up on the screen, lads. Give me a second. Where is it? This one. Let's look at this story. Alright, so this is the other story. Chelsea prepare massive £110 million bid for perfect goal scorer. Club to remain firm on stance. So in regards to Romelu Lukaku, lads, apparently Chelsea are going to make a bid for Romelu Lukaku of £110 million. Now, this is according to an Italian journalist working, I think, for the Express. Now, Romelu Lukaku, we all know about Romelu Lukaku, but why is Chelsea preparing this bid? Why is Chelsea preparing this much money for Romelu Lukaku? Why? We've been talking about Erling Haaland, lads. Why is Chelsea preparing that bid for Romelu Lukaku? I'm having a problem with the comments for some reason. They're not loading up on my screen. Give me a second, lads. Luke thinks it's a smokescreen. Smokescreen. Fake news. Would have been good if we had... Yeah, well, you see... I don't know. Back here, Alonso. Yeah, DJ. There's a lot to digest in regards to that deal. But why? I want to know, why is this story kicking off today? And actually, it was kicking off a couple of days ago. I saw reports from journalists talking about this. I got a couple of journalists who are friends. They were telling me that this story was gonna pick up pace over the next couple of days, and now we're seeing it. It's and it only makes sense for Chelsea to pay that money, or to be thinking about paying that money, if we are not going to be getting Erling Haaland. Because why would Chelsea pay £110 million? And it's pounds. It's not euros. It's £110 million for Lukaku, unless the Erling Haaland deal is hitting a brick wall. Well, it might be fake news. It might be. Do you guys think it's fake news? Ignore who? Ignore him, Maggie. Typical Italian media creating stories for their public. Well, okay. Okay, but Fabrizio Romano is a typical Italian journalist as well. Check ESPN Asia on Haaland. Give me a link. Give me a link, man. Give me a link, I'll check it. Put the link in the chat, I'll check it. ESPN Asia. ESPN. What am I looking for? ESPN Asia, what am I looking for? I accept. I'm not seeing anything special there on ESPN Asia, man. Where's you want me to look for? Give me put the link in the chat. Put the link in the chat and I'll check it. I'm not seeing nothing. Because that story doesn't make any sense, even if we cannot get Haaland. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Chelsea perspective. That's the thing. I agree with you. It doesn't make sense because why would Chelsea be paying that much money for Lukaku? Maybe 60, 70, 80 million. I can live with that. But why that much for Lukaku? Especially when the talk is for like 50 to 60 million for Lewandowski. So I'm not sure. I'm still waiting for that link. Where's the link? I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it unless it's not coming on the screen. Let me have a look in the other screen. Galactos Pro. Listen, mate. Why don't you go on Twitter and just tag me in that link? Because I think you're not able to put it on my screen here. Yeah, it's not allowing you to put it on my screen, I think. So just go on Twitter and tag me, and I will check my Twitter. Yeah, big up everyone. So nobody wants to jump in today. I've been talking for 15 minutes, and nobody's jumping on. Nobody wants to discuss these stories. Kate Anderson, it's a smokescreen for sure because Chelsea FC are working in silence, and before we know it, boom, announcement. Yeah, but you reckon Lukaku's a smokescreen, Kate? Lukaku's a smokescreen. But I thought Lukaku was one of our alternative targets. You know, using him as a smokescreen might not make a lot of sense. I'm just trying to figure out where everybody is. Trying to figure out where everybody is. Chelsea suffer a huge Erling Haaland blow. Yes, DJ. I know. Express. Alright, I'm looking at a story here. Let me share it for you guys. Let me share the story with you guys. Give me a second. This is a story. This is a link from DJ Sav. Let's look at this. This one here. So we're talking about a smokescreen, lads. Well, listen. This is the Express. And this report was published this afternoon. Chelsea suffer huge Erling Haaland blow after Borussia Dortmund and Mino Raiola talks. Alright. Chelsea hopes of signing Borussia Dortmund star Erling Haaland have taken a huge blow after it emerged Mino Raiola Let me just highlight it for you lot so you see what I'm talking about. Mino Raiola had held positive talks with the German club. Haaland is Chelsea's #1 transfer target this summer, but Dortmund do not want to sell him after losing Jadon Sancho to Manchester United. The Blues are chasing a world-class striker this summer as Thomas Tuchel aims to turn his Champions League winners into a Premier League contenders in 2021-2022 campaign. Haaland, we've seen all of this. While the German club replaced Sancho with the PSV attacker Doniol Malan on a 5-year contract. Yeah, DJ, we've seen all of this. We have seen all of this. Nothing new here. Nothing new here. Alex, welcome to the stream.
Hey, Baggy. How are you? All good?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
Not bad, man. You know, well, when has it been? It's been, since the 17th they announced they were going to do this bid. Now the 28th of July. Like, when is it happening? You know, I'm just worried, man. I just think, you know, we need to do something. We need to do the business in the next 2 weeks because this is a long deal and, you know, you can't start dealing. You know, Chelsea, they're not really probably the best when it comes to deadline day signings. You know, maybe one time we signed David Luiz, but it's. I'm not trying to be negative, but it's just looking very unlikely. I don't know why. It's just put it like this: if you want to try and make it, usually both parties should always be willing to try and make a deal, right? In this situation, Chelsea are willing to do it, but Dortmund don't seem that, you know, willing to actually listen to the offers and actually collaborate with Chelsea, and that's my problem. If two teams like, you know, for example, look, yes, people have been saying that the business has been doing behind closed doors. Look, no one knew about Kounde. Even other journalists were saying, "Oh, Chelsea are not signing any defenders," and then all of a sudden, Chelsea's going to get Kounde. Like, you know, so we don't know yet, but at the same time, you know, we can see Sevilla is willing to let him leave. Kounde wants to come to Chelsea, and it doesn't seem maybe as much like that's the same situation with Dortmund and Haaland. So it's an interesting situation, but Chelsea need to put a bid in. You know, just put a bid in. I don't know what we're waiting for. I really don't know what we're waiting for.
See, my concern here is this.
Yeah.
We're hearing a lot about Lukaku right now.
Yeah.
And you know that threw me off. Up until yesterday, you know, I was positive. I mean, we're hearing a lot of talk about, you know, Erling Haaland is happy at Dortmund. Erling Haaland doesn't want to go nowhere. Even him talking about, you know, this bid is not being something he's been talking about. He hasn't talked to his agent for a month. Yeah. All of that, I'm putting it aside because I know my team is doing things behind closed doors. You know, things are progressing quite well. But then today, this story about Lukaku started to, I don't know, you know, worry me a little bit because we're not only talking about a Lukaku bid, but we're talking about a Lukaku massive bid, £110 million.
Yeah.
Before I hear your response, I want to say big up to Bryanson93. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm okay. And you all? How are you guys?
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, good.
So Alex, this bid, I mean, is, you know, a lot of people in the chat, smokescreen, fake news, But is it the case of if we like it, we believe it, if we don't like it, we're calling it fake news? Is that what we're doing now?
No, the thing is, my problem, it could either be fake news or news, but the thing I'm worried about is that it's actually been written about. It's actually been posted and stuff, and when something negative is posted, it's always worrying. You know, it's never that a good sign when something negative is. Usually, it could be something positive. Oh yes, the talks between Raiola and Dortmund have been a positive talks, not negative. And when someone comes out like that, I don't know. Either they don't want him to be at Chelsea, or I don't know. We don't know what happens in this business. We all try and assume what happens, but we don't. No one knows. You know, no one actually really knows what's happening. No one knew we were signing Kounde. I had no clue, absolutely no clue. Wake up yesterday morning and see that we're gonna get defender. So, and the Lukaku situation, I don't know, man. Like, yes, would I be happy Lukaku being at Chelsea? Yeah, but I wouldn't want him to be our second choice. If you see what I mean, like, because then okay, Lukaku's what 28, 29. Chelsea never really give contracts to over 30-year-olds for long term. Okay, Lukaku could work for 1 or 2 years, but where's he going to be when he's 31? It's not really a long-term project for me.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
but and if Chelsea are trying to create this project by signing Kounde, who's only 22, then I don't see why they should go for the number one target. If not, don't sign Lukaku. I think Lukaku is not worth 110 mil of where we're trying to bid for.
Yeah, Brian, your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I think I agree with Alex. I think Lukaku is not worth that price. I mean, he's 28. So how long is he going to play for Chelsea? Maybe for 3-4 years. But Allen, might be more expensive compared to Lukaku. We can spend the next 10 years at Chelsea. It's only 21. So you can play for like 8-9 years. And the rumors about Lukaku, I don't really believe it. I don't really believe it. I think it's rumors. I don't think it's true at all. Because I think Lukaku is definitely staying in Inter. He's really happy there. He spoke with in Simone Inzaghi, the coach already. So I don't see him I don't see him coming to Chelsea. I think maybe Ireland might come.
All right.
I think we definitely need a striker, Baggy. We need a striker 100%.
Of course.
For me, we need a striker. I think because some people, they say, we got Timo Werner, but I'll be honest with you guys. Like Timo Werner, I'm not really 100% confident with him. Because if we saw like in the European Championship, he hasn't done quite good, to be honest, compared to Kai Havertz. So I'm not really that confident with Timo Werner. I think he's a good player, Timo Werner. He did well, like this year, like 27 goals.
We are going to talk about the team towards the end of the stream. We're going to be talking about what we have right now, and if we don't get players in, we'll be talking about that. Listen, lads, you're all welcome on today's stream. Today's stream is open to the fans. All right, no panel, no nothing. Anyone is more than welcome to come in and give me their opinion. I apologize if I butcher your name, but is it Go Deep Singh?
Yeah, exactly.
Gurdeep Singh, welcome to the stream, and Ashley, welcome to the stream. I'll start with Gurdeep. Gurdeep, give me your thoughts on the situation so far regarding our transfer market and the news about Kounde and the news about Lukaku that we've seen today, and also Ashley.
Exactly. So what I think that it's important that we now start focusing on Kounde because I guess we have spent a lot of time on Haaland deal. So I guess one defender would be good signing for Chelsea this year because I guess Lukaku coming into Chelsea would be helpful, but I guess strikers like Ollie Watkins and Bamford, they have also proved themselves quite good in Premier League. So we should not obsess too much with buying a striker, like very expensive striker. I guess Borussia and all can also develop over time. So
Okay. So you're content if we don't get the marquee striker. You're content moving forward with Borja?
yeah, so
You lost it.
I saw the work rate of Broja yesterday in the game, and it was quite good. He was coming in mid, he was dropping deep, and then he was going forward. So the amount of work rate he was putting in, it looks like he might evolve over the period of time.
What are you smoking?
And hello,
Nah,
yeah.
yeah, we're getting some feedback from Alex, but he's muted himself now. So carry on, mate.
Yeah. So the amount of work rate, what I had seen yesterday, it was pretty good from Broja, and if we actually need to sign some striker, we can go for. We do not have to like put in too much money into it, I believe. Like if you see signings like Ollie Watkins for Aston Villa, it has worked really good. And if you see striker like Callum Wilson for Newcastle, it has worked really good for in playing for Premier League. So it just, I guess we need to look around more, and I guess we would be finding a pretty good striker. I guess we are obsessing over striker this year because Werner hadn't turned out how we all expected. Last year we all were thinking that Werner would be the one, but this year we are looking for strikers because Werner had a difficult time last year, but he might improve. He is a good player. We all know that. So
Yeah.
the
No, I definitely think Werner could have a better season this season than the one he had last season. He didn't do too badly last season. He just wasn't able to put the ball away. His movement, his
exactly.
his
Can you get some
assists,
for
his
me,
passing.
please? Thank you.
Alex, are you ordering some food or something, mate?
Sorry, I'm expert. Okay. No,
It's
I'm more
all good.
confused.
Yeah. So there is room for improvement in regards to Timo Werner. Stav, it's been a while, mate. How you doing?
I'm fine, mate. I'm fine, mate. Just finished my machine, so now I've come on. I've been around, just haven't been coming into the studio.
I know.
Um, what can I say? Right, listen. Um, it doesn't. The Lukaku thing doesn't make sense that we would spend that kind of money on Lukaku because
I
we're
agree.
never ever gonna get any of that back. If we get 4 years out of him, it's gonna be 32. And if you're going to move him on, he's not a Lewandowski, right? You'd be lucky if we get even a third of the money that we're going to spend, plus salary and all that. So it doesn't make sense. Italian media and German media,
For that price. For that price.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, right? Italian and German media are just absolute garbage, right? They have to create stories, and when they create a story, they like to attack English sides, whether it's us, Man United, whoever. Right? They just haven't got anything to write about. It's as simple as that, and they're creating a story. And what makes things worse is idiots like the Daily Mail, the Express, etc., who are just as lazy, right? Just take other people's stories. They'll take things from Marca in Spain and they just twist them around and rehash them. So for me, if we've been talking about Haaland and spending that kind of money, he's logical as a target at that expense, right? Because you'll recoup it anyway, right? But if Haaland's not coming, I just don't think there's much point in spending that kind of money on Lukaku. I'd rather actually buy Ings and who's the guy in Italy who we were being linked with, he's a Serb or something like that.
V
But,
something.
yeah.
I know
Right.
Fiorentina guy.
You could get those two for far less money, right? Now I love Broja, right? But he's not at the stage where he can lead a title challenge. So for me, that's a nonsense. They're even suggesting it. He's there. He will get goals. He might get 7, 8, depending on how many games he gets, right? But he's there to learn, right? He's not a finished article. He's not going to like lead in a challenge in Europe and in the Premier League. And Timo Werner, people, right? He didn't do what I expected, right? But that's before COVID. We've all discussed this before. COVID, no fans, right? Now all this is changing. The stadiums are going to be full, right? And that will help. But he is not a lead striker, right? He's a second striker in the mould of David Speedy, Ida Good Johnson, that kind of player, right? He's not a lead striker, right? We used to have a pairing of Gordon Julie, and he was the lead striker, and Kevin McAllister was the second striker. feeding off Jury. Werner will score if he's got someone like Haaland up front with him, right?
We'll talk about Werner, Havertz, Ziyech. We'll talk about all these lads in a minute. I want to talk about the transfer market. I want to talk about the transfer window right now. Kounde is coming. Apparently, Chelsea are going to be paying in the region of £25 million plus a player, i.e. Zouma, Alonso, Bakayoko, whoever Sevilla want from our long list of deadwood. Okay, so the talk was Zouma. Initially, the talk was, us giving them Zouma plus that money. Now, that aside, we've already signed a third choice goalkeeper, and in my opinion, we got a decent goalkeeper for that position. Someone who's had good experience, someone who's at the right age, and who would probably do a good job when called upon. And he will be called upon, especially with Mendy going on to the African Cup of Nations. We will have Kepa and this guy, battling it out for playing time. So we've done that. We've got one in, one on the verge of coming in, but we haven't got the DM or the striker that we all thought was going to be the priority players for Chelsea to bring in this window. And my concern is, we're talking about Lukaku. Does that mean a bid has been rejected for Erling Haaland? Because if we are talking about Lukaku, and we said that if a bid is rejected, apparently, journalists said, if a bid is rejected, we're not going to hear about it. We're just going to hear about the alternative, which is what's happening today. I know we're saying fake news. Stav, I know, I agree with you. This story is come out of nowhere, and it's come out of nowhere with a massive price, £110 million. So what was Chelsea offering for Haaland? If they're going to offer 110 for Lukaku. I'll give you a chance to get back on this, Stav, but before I do that, I want to say big up to Blue Ice and welcome to the stream. How are you, Blue Ice?
Hey, Baggy, how are you? Thanks for having me. Good evening, gentlemen.
It's Mo Kasim and it's the Blue Lounge.
Oh,
R.I.P. Baggy TV.
All right. Hey, okay, let me take 2 steps back. Hey, Kasim. Good evening, gentlemen. What's up?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Good.
Blue Ice, what's your thoughts?
Sorry, I just wanted to say shout out to Chelsea Perspective. I was reading the comments. Bros, I see you, Odogu. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on what we've talked about so far in regards to Kounde coming in, a possible player plus cash exchange deal, and also the story about Lukaku being a £110 million target for Chelsea. What's your thoughts on this, man? As a Chelsea fan, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, that's 2 very interesting points. But like the fan that I am, I just want to see business done. To be honest with you, I don't know much about Jules Kounde. I've watched some of his games, but I can't tell you that I know him inside out. But from what the Chelsea fans and YouTube and everyone is saying, this kid looks like he's going to solve the problem for us in the back, either in the back 3 or back 4. So if we're going to do the deal, let's get it done. I just don't want us to dance around this deal anymore, because the season is almost starting now. I mean, I think we're a week and a half away.
2 weeks. Yeah,
2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. And then for Lukaku, I think we should just let that water keep flowing. I don't think we need Lukaku at this point. I've seen him come out saying he's excited to be back at Inter, so I'm not sure how he's going to add any value to what we're looking for right now. I think the focus should be Haaland, and it's time for us now to put Marina's feet to the fire and see if she can close this deal before season starts.
So we'll put
Haaland,
Marina's feet
so
to the fire and see if she can close her feet.
All
right.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
If she can close that deal, because this is a big I think this is her biggest project so far. If she can make it happen.
I agree, and I hope she can. Jem, welcome to the stream. How are you?
Not bad, man. How are you guys? All good?
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good. Jem, I want to give you a couple of minutes to give me your thoughts on the Kounde plus a player, because apparently it's not Kurt Zouma, it's Kurt Zouma, it's Alonso, it's Bakayoko, it's whoever Sevilla want. Plus,
Who said this?
This is what's been reported by
I haven't
by a
seen it. That's why I'm
few.
asking. Yeah.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll get it up for you. I had it on the screen just a little while ago. What was it? Where was it? I think it was on One Football.
Yeah, I just thought it was Zuma. That's why.
Yeah,
The way
it
Fabrizio
was.
Romano made-
Even I heard
Yeah,
it's
it
Zuma.
was. It was. Initially, it was Zuma, but it's apparently a whole bunch of players. Here we go. This is the one. I'm gonna share it.
When
Okay,
you
so
say bunch of-
Chelsea.
Go on.
Yeah, six. Chelsea offer a pick of 6 stars as part of a player plus cash deal for Julius Kounde, and then it comes. Excuse me. Where is it?
That's right.
So it's a Zuma or any one of these 5 players, which is Davis Acosta, Maiziga, Kennedy, Bakayoko, Malingso. But I guess if it's these, it could be anyone else, you know.
I just-
'cause yeah, go
I
on.
think we just got to simplify it again and really think that if we're taking Jules Kounde off them, what are they going to need? And it's going to be a centre back.
Centre back.
I just feel like out of all of them, the one that's the most, I'd say, got the most value to him and probably the better player out of all of them is Zuma in my eyes. So if I was Sevilla, I'd still want Zuma. I don't see why they'd want Zappacosta. Bakayoko makes no sense. Kennedy, again, why would they want him? You know,
Malingso.
Malang Sarr's a potential. You know, he wasn't really playing for Porto last season. He didn't get much game time, so he might wanna go over there. I just feel like it's Zuma. I just still think it's going to be Zuma. That's my feeling towards it. But it's a great deal. Whatever we choose to do, it's a great deal. And it talks about player plus cash. Obviously, the cash element's going to be interesting to see how much we actually put on top of the player. He has a buyout. I think he has a buyout clause of around 70 to 80 million. If I'm
80
right.
million, I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I think we'll be getting Kounde for less than that. I think it'll be player plus a bit of cash on top. But like I said, it just depends how much we afford. I think it's going to be in the regions between 60 to 70 million in total. So let's see. Well, not 60 to 70, 50 to 60 million actually. Or no, actually 50 to 65 million. I think it's going to be in the regions of. But
it's 5 million here, 10 million here. It's peanuts for Chelsea.
Yeah,
man, so,
you know, it'll be around something like that. But whatever it is, we need to understand that it's a great signing for Chelsea. The player that we're bringing in brings one big thing, one important thing: versatility. Being able to play in a number of which he can do. He will. I think he will be fine in the Premier League. I know some people were worried about his physicality. I think he will be completely fine. He might need a bit of time to gel like the others. He might not. He might just come in and just take off. You just don't know, do you? It's one of the things. But he's a top player, and he's one that we've brought in for the future. He's a future. He's not for now. He's a future player at Chelsea, and this is what Chelsea are doing. If you look at the movements that we've been doing, or looking to bring in, I'm talking about last season mainly because we haven't been doing that much this season. But if you look at the players that we have brought in from last season and up to now, they're all for the future of this football club. You know, Chelsea are thinking ahead. So great signing, top player, and I've said before, like I said yesterday, I think he's going to do really well at Chelsea.
I agree.
Yeah.
Before I open the discussion to everyone, because I want to have an open discussion for you lads. But before I do that, I want to ask staff something. Because over the past few streams, staff, you have talked a lot in the chat about financial fair play and how that is going to impact certain transfers. Now, I've heard your point of view many a time, but I know a lot of people in the chat probably will not have the insight that you have. Before I let Stav talk about this, Stav has been close to Chelsea Football Club for a few years, as well as being a fan of Chelsea Football Club for most of his life, if not all of his life. So Stav can provide us with an insight into areas and things that most of us have not been familiarized with. He also has contacts within the club from earlier in his life, and I want you to give us an insight, Stav. Talk to us a little bit about financial fair play and how this is going to impact this window from your perspective, and also in regards to the Haaland situation. What should we be aware of when it comes to financial fair play and the Haaland deal as been discussed so far?
Yeah. I should also point out that I've got a friend who's a UEFA delegate. Okay. I get all these official UEFA monthly magazines, all that stuff. He always passes them on to me. I tend to do a lot of research as well. I don't just go on what's been said in the media, right, about financial fair play being relaxed. Right, it still applies. As far as transfers and salaries go, that still applies. Right. The only thing that's been relaxed is that an owner previously, before COVID, could put 30 million of their own cash in over the 3-year accounting period. Yeah. So 1 year you might not put anything in, the next year you put 20 and then 10, whatever, because you might not have a debt in one of the seasons, right? So what they've done is they relaxed it, that the 30 million right, can apply just to 2020, right? So because of the COVID and stuff like that. So that's the only relaxation. FFP is going to finish for next season. It still applies to this season. I researched statements by President Mr. Serafin. And
Stav, tell me directly.
Right,
Erling
we've got the
Haaland-
money. We've got the money for Erling Haaland. Yeah, we've got the money for Erling Haaland. Forget that. Right, forget that. It's other signings that could be the issue. But you can still get round it by if you put Haaland right on a 5-year contract, for example, you can spread that transfer fee, yeah, over the 5 years. So basically, you're only showing 30 million per year in those accounts, yeah, right. You get that, don't you? So you basically, I can't remember the exact posh word for it, right? But we have got the money, 100 million from Champions League. You've got nearly 50 million coming from Tomori and Gui because their transfers are going to rise. They're going to rise.
In a nutshell, how much could we spend this transfer window and still be within financial fair play regulations?
We've got the 150 million for Haaland, yeah, right. And in general, we tend to bring in about 10 million or so from loan fees and stuff like that. Right. The one thing I wouldn't do is agree to Arsenal's request that they can take Tammy as a loan with obligation to buy, because they're looking for us to pay part of his salary. That's a nonsense. Just sell him to somebody else. Just sell him to someone else. Arsenal can just go and get knotted as far as I'm concerned. They're just trying it on.
150 for Erling Haaland. 150 for Erling Haaland.
Yeah, that's there.
25 for Kounde. That's 175.
Yeah.
What we're looking at? Another 50 million on top for a deal?
If you sell, right, Tammy for 35, 40, yeah, you've paid for Kounde and you've got 20 left over. or so.
Staff, we've already sold £50 million worth of players already.
Yeah, but I've added them to the 150 for Haaland.
So
yeah,
all right, so Champions League money plus 50 million that we've sold is what we're going to get Haaland with, right?
Yeah, and we've got I don't know, another 5-6 million from Giroud and sales like that. We sold Lucas Pizon in Piazon in January for January this year we sold him.
Was it this year?
He was on loan. Yeah, he was on loan, right? And then he went on a full fee because he didn't want to sign an extension. You've got to remember we got money from the FA Cup by reaching the final and stuff like that. If we can sell Tammy and one other player, right, we can get a DM and pay for Kounde. Keepers sorted, like you said. But get back to FFP for just 1 second. Right, the system's going to be replaced next year. The UEFA have had talks, right, all the 55 associations to discuss it, and they've had talks with the EU to make sure that they're not going to infringe on any employment laws and stuff. December, they will contact, right, all the clubs, all the FAs, and put to them the new plan. Yeah, that's going to replace FFP. Nobody knows what it's going to be. Even if we gamble, right, and buy players now and go above the FFP, if it's allowed, if they change the system, next year owners will be allowed to put more in. Yeah. So then Roman can just pay all the debt off, even if we're like 60, 70 million overspend. Roman can pay that off.
Staff. So we're good. We're in a nutshell, we're good to get Haaland, a DM, plus these two deals that we've done.
Yeah. We have to sell.
Yeah, but
we have to sell
Tammy.
We have to sell Tammy, right? Yeah, and maybe one other to cover Kounde, the Kounde fee, right? Tammy would cover DM. Me, I'd go for Tchouameni because he'll be the cheapest option. He'll be effective. He's a young option. Now we've got that keeper. Another thing you should note that, right, is that the new signing of keeper constitutes a homegrown. So that means we've reached the quota, right? We can get the quota, which means that we are looking at foreign players, right?
Okay.
So
yeah.
But the only problem is that the new system may allow owners to spend as much money as they want or pump money into the club, but there will be wage caps. That's the rumour I'm hearing. Is there's going to be a wage cap?
Okay. All right. Well, Bryson, one second. Listen, lads. We have 128 people in the chat right now. Only 52 likes and 1 dislike. Thank you for the dislike. Appreciate it. All right, so let's get them likes up to 100. I would really appreciate it, and let's get the Blue Lounge to 7,000 today, lads. We are literally 80 away from 7,000 subscribers. So let's push for that 7,000 subscribers on the stream. If you haven't subscribed yet, lads, do us a favor and subscribe to the Blue Lounge. Bryson, go ahead, mate.
Yeah, Stav, like you said about all the funds for Chelsea Football Club. But what about the top 4 finishing? Because we also get funds for finishing in the top 4 as well.
Yeah.
So you haven't mentioned that as well. Because we finish in the Champions League, so we get quite a lot of money based on that, finishing in the top 4.
Yeah, but you've got to remember, right, that you have obligations as well. You have expenses. You've got the salaries to pay. That money, the salaries cannot be coming from the owner. They cannot come from an owner. The salaries. Our current salary bill is around 164 million. Right. If you get Haaland, you're going to have to give other people pay rises. They're going to be touching 200 million. So that money has to come from somewhere. Match day income, right, is okay, but it's not going to pay the wage bill for the whole year. You've got TV money and you've got the sponsor deals, right? But you've got to show, accounting wise, that you're structured. That's another facet of financial fair play. You have to show that you're structured. AC Milan couldn't do that, and they were banned for 2 years from Europe, and that's a big fine. That if you're banned from Europe for 2 years, you stand to lose between 60 to 200 million if you're in the Champions League. Yeah, so we can say TV money, you can say finishing fourth, all that stuff, but the wage bill alone is 160 million. That's the wage bill, and that's going to increase. That is going to increase.
But I'm hoping that, you know, judging from our past experience, how we were persecuted about a year and a half ago, for the same reasons, that at least our accounting department have learned a lesson, and we should have a very sound, disciplined template to do business moving forward. No?
Are you talking about the transfer ban?
Yeah, during the transfer, I'm hoping that, you know, that should teach us one or two things.
Yeah, but one thing I should point out, right, is the transfer ban came because of the way we conducted our approaches and signing of youth players, and that came from FIFA.
I see.
Wasn't UEFA? That was FIFA. Okay. And that was to do with the way the whole thing started off with Traore. Right, we managed to overcome that one, but then they started coming up with other cases, and we were guilty. We were guilty of it, but we weren't the only ones. Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, and Real Madrid all did it, and they all got away with it with only one transfer window, which is why we got away with just one transfer window, because when you go to CAS, they've got to like base things on what they've done previously. And Man City are guilty of it as well, but they were never charged.
Yeah, they got away with it, didn't they?
They got lucky.
Yeah.
I see.
What don't make sense to me though is what we say we do our movements. We bring in Haaland, we buy Kounde, we buy a DM, we spend a certain amount of money. I get that we have to sell players to sort of balance the books in many ways as well. But you get to December, they decide to change the FFPs or imply FFPs. There's no way in hell they can punish us for a transfer window that they've allowed us to do this stuff, surely. You know what I mean?
No, in December, they're going to report back. They're not going to like stop FFP. FFP will apply for the entirety of this season.
Yeah,
it accounts for this season, right?
Exactly. Because
December,
an audit takes a while, right? To audit the books takes a while, and to produce a report. So I can see them retroing on a decision.
Yeah, because in December, all they're going to do is put the new idea or the new plan to the 55 association member associations, and they've got to approve it. They've got to agree with it, right? And the thing is, let's take the German association. They're not going to agree to us being able to put more money in, right? There's going to be smaller associations which aren't going to like it because they're going to fall even further behind. So it's not a given that FFP will be gone totally in its current structure. But the idea, what I've heard is that what they are thinking of is allowing owners to put more than that 30 million over the 3-year period in. Yeah, you can put whatever you want in, but there's going to be the possibility of a wage cap, right? It's a bit like America, in it. They have a wage cap. In America, I think they're allowed 2 top stars, and then there's everyone else is capped. So that's going to make harder to sign the big players, which again makes sense about signing these young guys now, right? So that you have longevity in your squad from these players, and you're not looking.
Staff, I'm going to interrupt you for a second.
Go on.
Firstly, Blue Class TV, $10 donation, big up. Thank you. Appreciate that. Blue Class TV always supporting the Blue Lounge. I want to wanna just digress a little bit, Stav. And
go on.
by the way, Gurdeep, Blue Eyes, Bryson, Jem, this is an open discussion. I want to digress a little bit, Stav. I wanna say this. Is Chelsea likely to make a blunder this season by overpaying for a striker because of all of the hype that has been building up for Erling Haaland, and the fact that we might not sign him? And again, we might not sign him because we might still sign him, but because of the story that I read today with Lukaku, is Chelsea going to be pushed into that corner where they have to pay a lot of money, overpay for a striker? But before I ask you guys to give me your opinion on this, guys in the chat. Today is your chance. Today is your day. If you wanna get onto the Blue Lounge and give your opinion, today is your day. The link is there in the pinned comment. Click on it, jump in, and we'll have I'd like to hear what you have to say. Again, staff, take it away. Gurdeep, anyone who wants to jump in on this, go right ahead.
Yeah, actually, I kind of agree with what you were saying, that there might be a blunder, because if you see last year's situation of Jadon Sancho, Borussia Dortmund gave a really tough time to Man United. They were all in. They had multiple options with the deal, but Dortmund didn't leave him. So I guess we have spent a lot of time by buying Haaland, and right now what I feel that buying Kunde is a very good deal for Chelsea, and this should be done as quickly as possible, because it's important for a player to play with the team before the start of the season. And I believe the DMs and CDM, they might use Loftus-Cheek as CDM this year. They are not focusing on that, I believe. But there are rumors about Rice and stuff, but I guess the club isn't focusing much on that. I'm not sure how true and how positively I'm thinking, but this is what I believe. And also, I wanted to know if there are any rumors apart from Haaland and Lukaku for a striker, what Chelsea are looking for.
No, not at the moment.
No.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Lewandowski was mentioned, but it's mentioned as a rumor, because it's one of those stories where it looks like he's working to get a better contract for Bayern, and it's one of them, the same as All Black last season. It seems like that, but Lukaku and Haaland are, from what I understand, the two targets that Chelsea are properly looking at. Jem, take it away, mate.
To say to you, I'm going to put a little bit of a flip on this Haaland thing. What if the reason we're signing Kounde is because we've already signed Haaland, and it's just about the announcement now? Why are Chelsea looking in other areas now and buying players? Why has the concentration maybe gone off of the Haaland deal? Is there potential that potentially we might have actually agreed something, and now it's just a bit like the Havertz deal last year, where when it was announced, we'd actually signed him a week and a half ago. It was done. It was just that Leverkusen wanted us to delay the announcement time so that they could find someone to replace. What if that is the case? Because it's not saying that is legit what's happening, but you've got to think of this surely, because the fact that we've managed to move into this Kounde situation so quickly and get it done, and now there's talks about potential. I've been looking over Twitter, potential DMs. The way.
So what happens? So Jem, what happens if we don't? Let's say we don't end up signing Kounde. How does that affect the whole?
No, we're signing Kounde.
Situation.
No, let's say we don't. No, I'm just saying. I'm just giving an instance here. Let's say we don't successfully sign Kounde. How will that affect your suggestion right now that Haaland's deal is dependent on closing Kounde?
No, it's not dependent. What I'm trying to say is that we might be done with it. It might be at a point where it's ready. But do you know what I mean?
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Like, Blue Eyes. I'm going to tell you something. Yeah. I received this message 2 days ago, and so did Jem, because me and Jem talked about this. a couple of days ago. This is a message that we received from a respected source that had a conversation with a well-renowned journalist. And the conversation that we saw indicated the story of Lukaku that we've seen today. And this was a couple of days ago. Now, this story that we saw today was being indicated a couple of days ago. Now, what has changed? Over the past couple of days, the Haaland story has started to take a massive role in regards to the publications. The interest in Inter Milan's number one striker started to go down, declining. Therefore, pushing this narrative now is the best time to do it. I know a lot of people in the comments. As soon as I talked about it, fake news. This isn't happening. Smoke screen. I agree with him. But it's our job here to highlight these stories and to discuss them. A lot of the points that I'm going to be making on the stream are not necessarily my thoughts, but these are topics that we do need to address. And what Jem was saying in regards to Kounde, I agree with him 100%. I think it's just a matter of time. And one of the reasons why Jem was surprised when I told him there's other players being involved is because naturally it makes sense, for them to replace one of their main defenders with another defender. Therefore, having Zappacosta and other players in, being mentioned in that story, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't add up, but it's there. It's a possibility. Because they may be wanting to bolster another position, and that's why Chelsea may be offering other players. But we are, maybe that's what they did initially. But then, Sevilla said, "Look, thank you, but Zouma is the person we are most interested in," and that's why apparently Zouma is also happy to make this transition. Gadeep, go ahead, mate.
Yeah, exactly. This deal seems to be happening. I believe the Kounde and Zouma going to Sevilla. Looks like it's gonna happen, and there is nothing obligation at that part. But buying a striker right now, it's a big discussion. If you look at it, it's a huge discussion. Who is coming in, what money, and it just keeps on going. So I believe we needed a defender last year, because if you notice, when Thiago Silva and Christensen were injured, we struggled a bit. We struggled a little bit. So it was important to have one defender.
Yeah.
You see, one thing that I'm quite keen on, in regards to having Zouma. I mean, I love Zouma, big fan of Zouma.
Yeah.
But replacing him with Kounde, we have a player that can play in the 4 at the back as well as the 3 at the back, the 2 at the back as well as the 3 at the back.
Great.
While as Zouma he's more oriented to the 2 at the back kind of system. But having Kounde gives us that flexibility. And also for me, Kounde is an ideal replacement for Azpilicueta, because Azpilicueta is getting older. I love Azpilicueta. He's a club legend. He's the captain of the Champions League winning side. But he's also getting old, and I think Kounde coming in, perfect replacement for Aspi, and also maybe Thiago Silva. Last season with Chelsea Football Club, maybe this is his last season, maybe, and Kounde, to take over that role. It's good for Kounde to play with Thiago Silva. I think he'd learn a lot from him.
And I see that last year Thiago Silva was a great player, great defender for Chelsea. He had been really great in the defense. And with Rudiger and Christensen, Chelsea was doing good. But at the end, unfortunately, Christensen was out, and we had to play with James. So Kounde playing with Thiago Silva, Rudiger, it will be. He's already a great player. I have noticed him in La Liga. He's a good player actually, Kounde. So let's see how good he adapts in Premier League, because Premier League is quite fast. It's very quick. Uh, it is completely different from La Liga. So let's see how quick he adapts. Um, Apart from that, he's a great player.
I wanna address this comment by Mikhail. Romano had no links to Marina last week. I don't care what he's saying this week. I listen. In regards to Fabrizio Romano, from what I understand, and this is not confirmed, but from what I understand, Fabrizio Romano is not on good terms with Chelsea Football Club. Let's not single anyone out.
It's true.
But, he's not on good terms. He made some I'm not gonna say allegations, but he said a few things a couple of years back that kind of hurt the club, and it hurt a certain individual within the club. And since then, they've blocked him out of all of their deals. Fabrizio Romano gets his information from the clubs that we're dealing with. Borussia Dortmund, Inter Milan. If they tell him something, he knows about it. Otherwise, from Chelsea, he doesn't know nothing.
He knows nothing. It's true.
He knows nothing. I'm not a fan of Matt Law. Matt Law, I'm not a fan of his. But Matt Law is, for me, tier 1 when it comes to Chelsea news, because he knows what's going on. He's connected. He's connected. So if Matt Law says something tomorrow and Fabrizio Romano says the opposite, I'm going to believe in Matt Law when it comes to Chelsea. Now, also, it seems to me that his links within Germany is also restricted and limited. He seems to get a lot of his information from what's that guy's name? Who works for Blind?
Yeah.
Bill.
No, not Jan. Sorry, Bild. Not Jan. The other guy.
What?
I forget his name. But he gets a lot of his information from journalists rather than from sources within the clubs. He's connected in France, he's connected in Italy, and he's connected in Spain. But the rest, take it with a pinch of salt. Fabrizio Romano, great journalist. At the same time, he's not. He doesn't know everything.
He basically gets It's true what he's saying. The thing with Chelsea is actually true, because I've been told that as well. It's actually true. He fell out with Marina actually directly over actually something to do with the transfer. Funny enough, but anyway, he gets a lot of his information through people that have direct contacts with the clubs. That have that sort of good sources with the clubs. Does that make sense? So it's not Fabrizio Romano to the football club. It's Fabrizio Romano to someone that's connected to the club, to the football club. So that's how he builds his bridges, and it's worked for him up to now. But you're right, in certain areas, especially in Italy, he will know. It will be directly with clubs. But anything out of that, especially in Germany, 100%, it's people that are linked to the club that give him the information more than anything. So.
Christian Falk is the guy I was talking about.
Yeah.
Who?
Christian Falk.
Oh yeah, Christian Falk. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Another tier 1.
Let's get business going, because right now, said before, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to doing business this preseason, and let's get one deal done. Would be nice.
We've got one deal done. Couldn't they?
Sorry.
We've got one deal done.
Yeah.
Two.
The goalkeeper.
Yeah. You don't pay.
It's done. Trust me.
You don't pay for an eagle that's still flying in the bushes, man. You gotta bring it down. Okay, I hope so.
It's done.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, it's done.
Amen.
But last year, the Havertz deal, Romano said that Havertz had a medical on 3 separate occasions, and yet the medical didn't come till after that claim, right? We have to remember that the German media are promoting Marlon as Sancho's replacement, because they want to keep that story ticking over about Haaland, because they've got to sell papers, they've got to get clicks and all that stuff, right? And money, right? So now the deal's done for Marlon. Obviously, if PSV are finding out we're going to give them 120 million, 130 million, their price is going to go up. That's this was already said. I think in last night, everybody has to be in sync and quiet. And Dortmund don't want to admit too far in advance that they're willing to take the money before they've got their replacement. But now they're going to need the money to build that team, because once they've lost their king, as it were, their two kings, they now need to rebuild that team. They want to challenge for top four. They want to give a good fist of things in the Champions League. So, in a way, they do need that money for financial reasons and to be able to buy people they want. If it's all fake, right, and we're not signing him, or we haven't signed him, I'm not panicking. We just go and buy 2 strikers and a DM, and that's it. Job's done, over and done with. Right? As long as you get a lead striker who can feed Werner, a lead striker who can play with Ings if he has to play with Ings, or whoever the other striker is, someone that Brozi's going to learn from as well. Right? Yeah, I want Haaland. I believe we're going to get him. Right? And this thing with even if we put an offer in for Lukaku, right? Even if we have, that was to apply pressure on Dortmund and to say that, well, if you don't want the 150 million or whatever it is, we'll go and give it to them. But it doesn't make any sense to spend that kind of money on Lukaku. You're talking 70, 75 million top back for his age, and because there's not going to be any money coming back in once he's finished with us.
I want to ask this.
Yeah.
Lukaku, I'm getting some audio. Guys, mute yourselves unless you're speaking, please. I'm getting some feedback. Bryson, I think it might be you, mate.
Oh.
Yeah, just mute yourself unless you're talking. In regards to Lukaku, when we started talking about Lukaku before the transfer window opened, as Chelsea fans, that story picked up a lot of pace, and people were happy to see Lukaku at Chelsea. People were eager to see Lukaku at Chelsea. And then the Haaland story, well, a lot of people were. The Haaland story then starts to pick up pace, and then all of a sudden, Lukaku doesn't seem to show any more interest in Chelsea, because when the story was picking up, he wasn't saying nothing like, I don't want to go to Chelsea, I'm happy at Inter. He wasn't saying none of that. He was like, it is what it is. But now he's talking that he wants to stay at Inter Milan amid talks about Chelsea. You see, even Erling Haaland today, when he's asked about this, he says, I'm happy playing for my club. I'm not worth that money. He's not saying I want to stay at Dortmund. He's saying I'm happy with Dortmund. I'm happy to to play for Dortmund. But he's not saying I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to go. And Lukaku is saying that. And for me, as Chelsea fans, do you guys have a different perspective in regards to Lukaku? Do you want to see Lukaku at Chelsea even for 70, 80 million? Or do you want to see us go for someone else? I mean, what is your feelings in respect to Lukaku? Everyone.
For me, I think Lukaku, like for 70, 80 million, it's quite affordable, I think. I think it's much better than 110 million.
You have no problem with what he said about him wanting to stay at Inter Milan and he doesn't want to leave, and then coming to Chelsea. That doesn't matter to you.
Well, for me, I think it doesn't matter, because obviously he doesn't want to be disrespectful to Inter. Say, I just want to go. Obviously he has to just to say he wants to stay because he's happy there.
Okay, fair comment.
Inter won't want to sell him, because even if we offered them that kind of money, over 55% of that money goes to Man United anyway, so they don't actually end up making that much from the deal, because that when he went to Inter Milan, there was a clause in the contract that Man United put in it, basically. So it might be that they don't want to sell him, but if you see recently they're selling, it's like they're trying to push Martinez, or Arsenal trying to get Martinez, because that makes more sense, or make money from that deal. So it might be an Inter Milan thing more so, that they might think to themselves, well, if we're not going to really make the money we need, even though we're in a bit of shit, what's the point of selling him when he's probably our best player? That makes sense. So I would love that. Don't get me wrong. If we can't get Haaland, I wouldn't mind having Lukaku, but it doesn't make sense to go and throw 130 at him. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is.
Yeah. I want. Oh, he just left. I was going to say welcome to Cesar, but Cesar, if you're coming back in, we'd love to have you on. Rashid, welcome to the stream. How are you? Rashid, you're on mute. Yeah, go on. Sorry, lads. I thought he was here.
No, like I said, if we don't get a Haaland, I see a lot of Chelsea fans saying it's Haaland or nothing, but I still think we will bring someone in, and whether it's a Lukaku, which I wouldn't mind anyway.
Options.
If it isn't a Lukaku, then maybe we do have to start looking at the Danny Ings and people like that, which, to be honest, still think would do a job. The only thing would let him down is that he's injury prone. So
that's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask the panel. Sorry, Jem. I was going to actually, in relation to what you're saying, like, apart from Haaland, maybe the folks in the panel can help. Who would you? Can you name three other potential strikers that we could go for?
Not really. Danny Ings. If Martinez is for sale, then he's
Lukajovic is
There's not much, is there? Lewandowski.
There is a few, but they're not tier one. They're not world beaters, man. They're
no, that's the problem, isn't it?
Because Chelsea right now, we are the champions of Europe, and we want to get champions of Europe style of players. Galactical signings.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, even if we just I actually think Danny Ings would do a good job, because I think the chances that Werner got last year, I think he would bury him. So I still think he would score double-digit goals, and that's the thing we need, right? We just need someone to put the ball in the back of the net, and give us goals and win us them games where we drop points and stuff like that. So I think he would do a job. He's just injury prone. So I still think you'd have to look to bring someone else in, and I don't know, man. It's going to be hard when you think about it. So there's not many choices.
124 people in the stream, and I still haven't reached 100 likes. Why is that, lads? Lads, hit that like button. Let's push.
It's a lot of
100 likes.
100 likes, or is it? How many likes have you got?
Got 74, and I got one dislike.
So if you don't hit 100 likes, Haaland ain't coming to Chelsea, man. That's it.
He's not. He's watching the stream.
He's watching.
Erling Haaland is watching the stream, and he wants to see how many Chelsea fans want him.
You got to get 100 likes.
They're not even giving the stream 100 likes. Why should I come to Chelsea when their streams don't even get 100 likes?
He's literally just sent a DM and said, if you do not give Mo 100 likes on this chat,
we're not getting Haaland.
I'm not even going to entertain it. So
listen, Marina Granovkaia and Abramovic, they were googling YouTube, and they saw their name and they're like, let's see what this chat is all about. And then they're looking, 74 likes, they switched off. If they had seen 100 likes, they would have sat there like, what these guys are saying. So if you guys want to be heard, you gotta hit that like button, lads. You gotta hit that like button. You gotta promote our channel so that Abramovic and Marina can be looking, and see, the viewers are getting up. The viewers are increasing now. Let's keep pushing. How many likes do we have now?
Sure.
85. Come on. 15 away. 15 away. Keep doing it.
It worked.
Yeah. It worked. Go on.
You got 160 odd last night.
Yeah. Bison, go on, mate. Bison, go on.
I think regarding the striker position, I think we made a mistake. I think we had a chance to go for Aguero before, Aguero.
Aguero.
Because Aguero, the thing is, he wanted to stay in the Premier League, he said. I think if we did say we wanted him, I think we could have him for free. Aguero, I think it was a big mistake.
I think he's
Messi.
That cost him his deal.
Yeah, I think Messi might have influenced that one. I have a feeling Messi might have influenced that one.
But Chelsea wanted him, there were rumors about Aguero that they wanted him.
We did. You see, the thing is this, for me, Aguero was a player that was, maybe not. But there was a player that I'm surprised we didn't move towards him, and that's Memphis Depay. Memphis Depay was also a free transfer, Okay.
Yeah, but Memphis Depay was at Manchester, and he wasn't that good, So
free transfer.
I think we should have just signed Messi. He was out of contract. We could have got Aguero as well. There you go. Could have got Messi.
Yeah, Aguero was there.
There you go, Jen.
Come
I
on, man.
don't think Memphis Depay is proven. I don't think
Lads.
Memphis Depay is proven.
8 likes. I want to get to 100. 8 likes. Come on, lads. 8 likes.
Come
Go, guys.
And listen, lads, subscribe. Literally, if every one of you subscribes right now, I'd hit 7,000. Just do it, lads.
Mo, so your Baggy TV subscriptions don't merge into the Blue Lounge, no?
No, they do. Listen,
Okay.
the Blue Lounge is only a rebrand. The channel is the same channel, but it's just the name has changed. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Rashid, my man, can you hear us?
Yes.
Rashid?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. How you doing, man?
Yes.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Actually, I'm really cool, and I appreciate the efforts that you've put onto this platform because it's always going
Thank you.
viral. Yeah.
Thank
Now,
you.
I want to
Thank
talk
you.
about something. Somebody talked about Memphis Depay. I don't think Memphis Depay would fit in Chelsea based on the way he plays. I don't think, and actually too, I don't think he would fit in just because of the skill and the energy he puts on the field. But I think when we go back to the transfer that is going on currently right now about Erling Haaland, I think the deal will go through just because currently they are playing some little politics within the football world. Haaland and his agent Raiola, they're just playing politics to hype the price so that actually they can buy him at around 175 euros plus other fees. But I think the deal will go through. It's too expensive.
Avan,
Then,
just hold on a second, mate. I'll give you a chance in a minute, Avan.
Hello?
Rashid, carry on. Rashid, carry on.
I looked at the deal of Jules Kounde. I think it's really good. We go for it. Even if we
Hello?
had later cut Zouma to go out, I think let's go for Kounde. It will help us defensively because current right now Antonio Rudiger is not looking at renewing his contract as well as Azpilicueta hasn't yet signed another contract. And the aging of Thiago Silva, so I think you can go for Jules Kounde. I saw actually the way he plays is good, he's skillfully, actually looks towards actually making those long passes for us to score. So I think for the defensive part of it, let's go for Jules Kounde. Then too, I don't think Declan Rice deal will go through. I think we should pick in the new academy teammates like I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek to cover up, or any of them, or drink water because I see that guy this time around maybe because Tuchel can improve on his skill. One of them should remain and we'll remain with that. Then on the right wing, I think when you buy Jules Kounde, Reece James is around, Zappa Costa is also around. I think we can stick with any. But on the striking line, I think let's go for Haaland. However much is hyped, that guy will work for us. With addition of with Broja. Yes, I think that would be
Rashid.
good for us. Thank you.
Rashid. Wow. Wow. I don't agree with all of your choices, mate. But I like the way you think and how you broke it all out. But I don't agree with all of your choices. But yeah, thank you for all that feedback. I want to give Avan a chance to come in. Avan, how are you?
I've got to go, yeah? I'll see you in a bit. People...
Yeah, no worries, mate. Take care,
take
brother.
care, yeah.
Take care, brother. Thanks
Cheers,
for
Alan.
jumping on. Thanks for
No
jumping
worries.
on, Jim. Avan, how are you? Avan, you're
Good
muted.
morning.
Can
Good
you hear us?
morning. Yeah, hello.
Good morning. Where are you?
Hello.
Where are you?
Yeah,
Where are you?
can hear you.
Where are you?
I'm
Where are
fine.
you?
Good morning. I'm fine. Yeah, I really appreciate your program.
No.
I'm in France.
Thank you. You're in France and you have morning right now? Good evening. Avan, good evening.
The network is bad.
I think I can hear you.
No, we can hear you. We can hear you, Avan. But it's a little bit lagging.
Yeah, I'm really happy to speak to you.
Thank you.
And what I want to... You can hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. What I want to speak is I will I have a lot of Chelsea fans, my friends, we really expect Alan, we really expect that, we really have to try. to get him. This is the player we really want in our team. With him, we can destroy any team in the world. You know?
Thank you for your
Can you hear
feedback
me?
and your input. Really appreciate it. Yeah, we can. I agree. Haaland coming to Chelsea would definitely
Thank you
improve
very
our
much.
attacking options. Thank you, Avan. Have a good one, and I appreciate you for coming on. Thank you. Have a
Man,
good day.
you're giving me
Peace.
a very grateful friend. Thank you very much. Respect.
No,
Up Blues,
Thank you.
up
Peace.
Chelsea,
Up the Blues, up the
up
Chelsea, up the
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Thank you.
Baggy.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Hello, Baggy.
Yeah.
I think, we all want like Declan Rice, which I think is a very good player in midfield. But let's say if we cannot afford him, maybe West Ham has 100 million, 90 million. I don't know, it's my own opinion, my own personal view. I think, what do we go for? I don't know, like for example, Calvin Phillips from Leeds. I think this is a good CDM. Calvin Phillips from Leeds.
Yeah.
People doesn't really speak about him. Like, I think he was really good in the Euro.
He was. He played really, really well for England.
Very well. Yeah, people doesn't mention about him.
Yeah.
People doesn't speak about him, but I think he's good.
It's a little bit difficult to talk about players because there needs to be something related to that player. For example, Calvin Phillips plays for a team historically is being a rival to Chelsea. Historically, different levels right now, but historically he plays for a rival. It might not be easy for Calvin Phillips to get a transfer to Chelsea. Chelsea, looking at him, will probably have to pay a lot more than they would need to pay if they were a different club, because it's Chelsea asking for that transfer. The same with Harry Kane. Harry Kane, for all of us, is a much better option than a lot of the strikers that we've been linked with. But because he plays for Tottenham and we're Chelsea, it's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit different. I want to say a big welcome to talk. One second, Bryson. We have two people in the chat. I would welcome them to the chat, and then we'll carry on. Talk Blue, how are you?
I'm very good, bro. I'm very happy, you know.
It's good to see you. It's good to see you back. Armando Borgia scoring. Congratulations, man.
Bro, I want to get something just to say, bro. I told you this before pre-season.
Yeah, we know. Listen, Armando Borgia, he came on and he showed Tammy Abraham what he should have been doing in that first half. So big up to Armando Borgia. Big up to
the young kid.
King Kai, welcome to the stream. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
King, we're good. King Kai, where are you joining us from?
I'm joining from Accra, Ghana.
Welcome. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts about the whole situation, the whole stories that are in the press today. Kounde, Erling Haaland, Lukaku. What's your thoughts on all of these topics, man?
Well, I'm really excited to hear about Kounde because sometime during last season we had issues when we had Thiago Silva and Christensen injured. So we getting a defender that we can depend on during that time wouldn't be a bad idea during this transfer window. However, I've been listening to you guys, and I would say all comments about Haaland, I really appreciate and I want to hear more. But let's not be talking about Lukaku. Come on, Lukaku. We've seen Lukaku play in Chelsea. We've seen Lukaku played for Manchester United. I would say he was okay playing for West Brom and Everton, but it appears that Lukaku doesn't have the charisma to withstand pressure. He has only had one good season with Inter Milan. So if we just want to put all our eggs in 110 million pounds for Lukaku, who is around 28, getting to 29, whom we're going to get just 3 years from, and you don't even have a sell back value, then I don't think it's good business for Chelsea. And looking at the project, we now have young players. So to beef it up, we should get a very young and a striker that has a killer instinct in someone in the person of Haaland. So I think looking at the rumors and seeing the businesses that Dortmund are currently doing, I'm believing that Chelsea has already confirmed Haaland, but maybe we are yet to announce to the public. So we keep our legs crossed and arms crossed to see how things go first.
You're actually right.
I'm gonna ask a question for the people in the chat. Lukaku for 110 million pounds to Chelsea. For or against? So for or against? Let me know what you think about that transfer in the chat. If you're with it and you want to see it happen, type in for. If you're against it, type in against. In the chat, let me know. Lukaku for 110 million pounds. No, I'm getting some no's. No to Lukaku, but yes to Haaland. I think you're right. There you go, King Kai. King Kai, the chat agrees with you, mate.
Yeah,
The chat
exactly.
agrees with you.
No one wants to go for
Absolutely.
Lukaku
Because
if you have Haaland. And the issue
Belgium
here is
Husky.
he has
That's
just
nice.
had one good season, and that too in Serie A. And if you compare Serie A to Premier League, it's a lot different. It's completely different.
exactly, and even comparing those two players, like you could sell Haaland back to either team like Real Madrid or Barcelona. You could get 80 million pounds, or you could possibly even sell him higher than you are going to buy him now. So
Yeah,
there
yeah,
is
true.
more to do for Haaland than going for Lukaku. So I don't
Yeah,
see
true.
why
And that too for
our
that much
board should
money,
even be thinking about Lukaku.
no chance. That too that much
Lukaku for
money,
is too much.
110. It's too
All right,
much.
all right, all right, all right. Listen.
110.
This
Too much.
comment. Would
No
you
way.
guys be prepared to pay 200 million pounds for Erling Haaland?
Why
Yes
we
or no?
need
And
this guy? Why?
I want to ask staff to come on this. Staff, financial fair play, my man. Would you pay 200 million pounds for Erling Haaland if need be? If need be.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the thing is, with financial fair play, there is ways around it by the length of contract, right? Kepa is on a 7-year contract, right? And there's a reason for that, because we show in our accounts that he's cost us 10 million per year. That's why he got the 7-year contract, not because he's a great goalkeeper or he isn't or isn't. Not that. There's ways around financial fair play, but again, we've got to be careful because we don't know what's coming in next year. If we knew in advance what was coming in next year, right, and we knew we end up with 100 million debt, but Roman can just go and slap the 100 million down, that would be fine. But nobody knows what's going to happen. But at a stretch, yes. But you maybe have to give up on the DM and maybe just promote someone from within for the DM if you're going to spend 200 million. But I don't think it's going to cost that. I think that the deal's almost done if it hasn't already been done. I think it's just a question of announcing it now that Marlon's come in. Like I said before, they didn't want PSV to suddenly start bumping up the price. That wouldn't do us any favours either. So I think it's going to happen. But everybody, like Dortmund, they have to appease the fans as well. They can turn around and say, well, like someone said, I think it was Jem, well, we can't turn that kind of money down. And then Haaland's going to say, like, well, it was a lot of money, I couldn't say no, stuff like that. The only thing that could destroy that potential of that transfer is if somebody, right, has give Raiola a bigger backhander than the 40 million to try and kill the transfer so they can sign him next year. That's the only way that's not going to happen. I find
that hard to believe, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying it. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Is that's the only way that transfer can now be stopped if we're genuinely going to make that offer. Me personally, right? If they want 150 million for him, just give the 150 million. Forget all these add-ons and all this nonsense. Just pay the fee that they want, and they can't say no. because you're going to go in, you're going to slap down 150 million, and they can't say no to that. And even the fans aren't going to argue about it when they're getting that kind of money, because they know that because of COVID and stuff like that their club's struggling. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we have to pay the 200 million, but if we had to, well, you would have to sacrifice maybe a DM, right?
I wanna bring in DJ Sav. DJ Sav, he has a bad internet connection, so whenever we get we get him on the screen, we got to talk to him. So DJ Sav, welcome to the stream. How are you, my man?
Oh, cheers. I'm good, bro. How are you? How's everyone? Big up everyone in the stream, by the way. Are you all good? Are you all good? You're good?
Big up.
Good.
Big up. DJ, the arena is yours. Let us know what your thoughts are, mate.
Listen, I'll try and talk before my thing goes on me. Listen, I've heard everything everyone's saying. I'll go with what everyone is saying. I'd rather Haaland come to the football club. I think you guys know, you all know that I've wanted Haaland at the football club for a long, long time over everybody else. Whether this still will happen, I'm still confident it can happen. It's just a matter of, it getting done really now. I think it's like Stavage just said. I think it's probably all done and ready to go. I just think it just needs to be. I just think now we just need to hear now when it's going to happen. We were given prediction dates of when it could happen. I said the 7th of August. So I'm hoping that will be the case, if not before, obviously. But I'm still going to stick to what I said. The 7th of August, we might hear something.
No, I said the 2nd.
The 2nd.
I said the 2nd.
I know, Steph.
Next Monday.
I said the 7th.
Next month. Yeah.
I said Wednesday. Wednesday, you know.
Yeah. Transfers sent to be confirmed on a Monday, because then it goes straight into the media. You parade the player. That's why I'm saying the 2nd. Could be the 7th.
But you're talking about completed, confirmed. We're talking about announced. Yeah, so it's like the Kounde thing, where we know what's going to happen. So yeah,
it could be completed already. No, it could be completed already. And the announcement's going to come then.
Stop. If the announcement comes on Monday, and then he actually signs on Wednesday, I'll be right. You'll be wrong. And if the announcement comes on Wednesday and it's completed on Thursday, that the DJ saying, I'll still be right, because it's just a matter of perspective how you want to twist it. So.
Well, they're not going to announce it if it hasn't been done, either. So no. You're not always right, are you? Can I just say one? Can I just say something about the striker situation? Right. I said on Chelsea Perspective 2 or 3 weeks ago there, he asked, is Broja ready for them for the Premier League? And I said, yeah. Right. I've been pushing for Broja for ages, because I watch Dutch football, right? And I watch Ajax, but I do watch Vitesse because I know when we've got players there, right? So I've been like, I'm okay with Broja staying, but I want to put another one in the melting pot, right? And he scored last night as well.
I want to talk a little bit about Broja. I want to talk a little bit about him. Did you see his what's the word here? Huh? What?
It was a cute finish, wasn't it? And his brain was working all the time.
Not only that, but it seemed like he wanted to do what Abraham couldn't do in the first half. He was motivated. He was motivated to do that. And once he scored, the reaction, especially when him scoring after us going behind, I have a feeling, Broja, if he is handled correctly, if he is given the right opportunity, you know,
100%.
we got a diamond in the rough here. We got a diamond in the rough.
That's
how I see it.
I think he can perform.
That's what
I can tell you now. I've seen him. The way he presses, the press that he done that time with the bending his run, he's done that many times in the test, and he's practiced that. His pressing is amazing. His press is probably one of his big features as well.
He's strong. Like he had like good body control, and he was able to maintain the body posture even if there is a high press, even if there is a lot of pressure. He was dropping deep and then coming again. So that it looked like that he wanted to create something. He wanted to put in a lot of efforts. And if you notice that he has signed a deal till 2024, right? He even other
26.
clubs wanted to sign him. He didn't
And
accept. He wanted to
Chelsea,
stay.
Chelsea are refusing approaches for him to go out alone. A few clubs have
Exactly.
asked Chelsea for him to go out alone. Chelsea have refused because they want him as an option in attack this
Yep.
season.
Absolutely.
He's
So
got
it's
sharp
important to give
hand as
chances.
well.
I think he should. I think
Like
he should. I
Mason
think he
Mount.
should be on the.
If you see Mason Mount, now we all know how good he is. He is an exceptional player at the moment at Chelsea. But
Yeah.
Frank Lampard
Do
did
you
that thing. He brought him in, and now he's playing a very good football at Chelsea.
do you watch
And I
Do you
believe,
watch Vitesse? Do you
Oh,
watch Vitesse?
sorry,
I've watched the
I
test.
haven't. I
I have.
didn't. No.
No,
I've just watched
the
him
guy
because
who
of Broya.
the guy who's speaking, the guy who's speaking,
Yeah.
right? He
Yeah.
sounds like he watches
yeah,
Vitesse.
Yeah. He does.
Yeah.
I think
I,
that
yeah. You were saying to me, right?
yeah, go on, continue.
Are you,
Yeah,
are you talking
yeah. You
about
asked
I'll
me
just
about.
Go Deep, or are you talking about Talk Blue
whoever was
staff?
talking about Broja, right? I just wanted to know if they actually watch Vitesse because I've
I watched
seen,
the test.
yeah, because I saw every one of his goals, and there's
Yes.
no ordinary goal from him, right? You watch him right in front of the goal, his mind is working the same as well. It's not just his feet, his mind is working, right? And he
100%.
tries to, yeah, he tries to misfoot defenders. He tries to put defenders off stopping him, and his mind is
Hmm.
working all the time. Right? It's not just the ability, the talent, the technical ability of his player.
Yes.
His brain is working constantly, and he's looking
Correct.
at ways to get in on
100%.
goal. Right?
And that's exactly what Abraham is lacking. Exactly
Yeah,
what Abraham is lacking.
he's too indecisive.
Way too
He's just a,
hesitation. Too much.
yeah.
I
Abraham's just
also
a
believe.
poacher.
I also
Yeah,
Go
a
on.
lot of
believe.
people, a lot of folks are underestimating that goal from Broha yesterday, man. The kind of composure and the way he opened up. What
Yeah,
really impressed me is
not me.
And
how
he's
he opened up in
very
the
calm.
18-yard box under pressure. That's key.
Well, he
I
put
haven't seen that in a striker for Chelsea in a very long time. In a very long
well
time. And
that's
the kid, how tall is he? What is he? 6 feet?
He's
6'4", I guess.
194. 194.
Wow.
Six.
So yeah, I'm excited. I hope we keep him this season just to give
And
him a shot.
100%.
yeah. He's going to stay.
getting
We're
that
not going
goal,
to go
getting
Power.
that first
with
goal
two.
for the club,
That was
and
amazing, man.
after the reaction he gave after scoring, it was like he was very calm and composed because he
Exactly.
knew
no,
that
they
they
have a
still
question.
haven't won the match.
If you
Yeah,
see
The
his, I
I
think
have a
it's
question,
fifth goal
Kazi.
in the Vitesse.
I have a
He
question,
yeah,
Kazi.
his shot power is
and
insane, bro.
what I guess what's
you see?
happening with Tammy because Tammy started off really well in Chelsea. Recently, since Tuchel coming in, there is a lot of pressure among the guys. There is a lot of pressure among the boys because everyone has to prove to Tuchel only then they have a place in the team. It's
Okay.
because if you notice initially when Callum Hudson-Odoi played under Tuchel, he brought him back. He pulled him out of the game. Even so, that is the kind of threat everybody is having at the team that you have to perform really well. And somewhere Tammy is like having a lot of pressure, and that is making him do such things. So he
I
had
wanna
been
address this comment. Sorry, I want to address this comment. I want to address this comment because we talked about. Go Deep. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but this comment is something that a lot of fans would relate with.
100.
Zouma
Happy.
is. Say again.
Card
I
Happy
have a
Zouma.
question.
We would be happy to see you go.
No, bro. His middle name is Happy.
Oh, happy. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. No. In regards to Zouma, I am a big fan of Zouma, and I think that him being given the opportunity to go elsewhere when Tuchel isn't really playing him enough might be good for the lad. Yes, we want to see him, be at Chelsea and continue with Chelsea and play for Chelsea. But if he's not going to be doing that, I'd rather see him being playing elsewhere for his career and his progression, rather than him just sitting on the bench at Chelsea, especially when we are going to be replacing him with Kounde. So I think a lot of people are fond of Zouma and would like to see the best for the lad. I don't think he's being forced out. I think he's being given an opportunity to continue elsewhere.
I think
so it's all about perspective.
I think he's happy to go. Not in a bad way. I think he's just happy that he's happy to go. I don't think he's being forced out.
No.
At the end of the day, right? He'd been dropped by Lampard as well, right?
Yeah.
He dropped him. He's one of the players that had issues with Lampard, Alonso, even Jorginho and Kovačić. They all had issues with Lampard, right? And he dropped him. Can't really blame Tuchel. He's come in. He's picked the system. He's watched all the players. He's decided who the best ones are. He's decided what he needs and what he wants to put into that squad, right? And I don't think he's been forced out. I don't think we're being unfair. And he gets to go to Spain. He gets to play in La Liga. It's a lot of players have that ambition anyway. Maybe he'd rather go to a bigger club in Spain, but they're not that club themselves where he's going. If he is going there, but I don't think it's fair to say that we're forcing him out. I mean, Baggy, that I have a Facebook page, right, that I run, and it's mostly older supporters, ones who've been going for 2, 3, 4 decades, right? And a lot of them don't rate him. I'm not saying I don't rate him, but they don't rate him. It's the newer fans who he's popular with. But he's not been forced out for me.
Yeah, he has a blunder in him. He has a blunder in him, and we've seen it. We've seen it.
That's why Lampard
every
dropped
season.
him.
But yeah. I mean, to be fair, Christensen was the same, but then he managed to get his act together and improve. But Zouma, he still hasn't done that. He's a threat in the air, but he does have a blunder in him. I'm gonna give everyone a couple of minutes. Listen, lads, we've been going on for 1 hour and 49 minutes. We're gonna have another 10 minutes before we conclude the stream. But before I do that, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has liked the stream. We have reached 103 likes. I'm still short of my 7,000 subscriber milestone. I need another 60 subscribers. There's 108 of you in the stream right now. If you haven't subscribed, help this channel reach that 7,000 subscriber milestone. I'd really appreciate it. I'm gonna give everyone a minute. Hang on a second. I've got somebody here. Felix, welcome to the stream. You're late, my man.
Okay, thank you.
How are you, Felix? How are you, Felix?
I'm doing cool.
Where you from, Felix?
Okay, I'm talking from Ghana.
Welcome.
Oh, thanks.
Felix, we're about to end the stream, so I'm going to give everybody 2 minutes to have their final thoughts. So I'll start with you. So you have 2 minutes to tell us what you think about the situation with Chelsea. So Felix, take it away, mate.
Okay, thank you, my man, for giving me this opportunity.
You're welcome.
I'm going to talk a little about Zouma leaving Chelsea. Zouma was one of the best defenders we had when Frank Lampard was on board or as a manager. But it's just unfortunately that he have to leave us. We are just going to wish him well, to do his best, and we all love him. He was part of our plans, but every manager and what the tactics or what he wants to use his players for. So we are just wishing him well. So I'm okay with it.
All right. Yeah. Well, we wish him well. We wish him well, and I agree. He had a good partnership under Lampard with Thiago Silva when he first came in. And Zouma has been an aerial threat both in defense and in attack. So he has performed well for Chelsea. He has had some good performances for Chelsea, and I hope that he will be able to continue that should he go to Sevilla or elsewhere. But yeah, no, I agree. Rashid, final thoughts, mate?
Yes, actually, same to me. I would also. Can I hear me very well?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, actually, I take this opportunity to wish Zouma very well as welcome in Kounde. However, my last retrospection is all about us taking the current decision. So I had a question. The question was, who do you think among all these loanees who came back would remain in Chelsea squad? 3 players, actually, I wanted to get your opinions about it. Then 2, who do you think in the case we fail to sign a striker like Haaland, what do you think will happen with us? Because I don't think Lukaku will go through. Those are the questions, though I appreciate the efforts actually Maria has placed into the transfer. Though if anything comes into failure, it will be just because of fate. But I think we've done everything. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think in regards to the players coming back, I can see Loftus-Cheek sticking around, possibly, and I think Borja is the other one who I think will be sticking around. In regards to the, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Malang Sarr will go out alone. I have a feeling that he'll go out alone.
Yes, we'll go.
Especially with us signing Kounde, I think Malang Sarr will probably go out alone.
Gallagher should stay. I guess Gallagher
No,
should
no,
stay
no, no,
because
no, no.
Gallagher, from my perspective, is a player that Tuchel is thinking about seriously, because giving him 90 minutes
is something.
shows us,
I think that's his last. I think that's his last 90 minutes for this season. I think
that's the reason he got 90 minutes.
Yeah, that's the reason why he got exactly. I think the coach
shop window. You reckon it's a shop window scenario where he wanted to give him 90 minutes so that he can flog him for a good deal.
Yeah, something like that.
He's not going to flog him.
I wanted to
put this out.
Go on, Steph.
He's not going to flog him. But I mean, he made that mistake right towards the end of the game. Right, he's not a defensive mid in the same mold as the others.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
I reckon Broja's going to stay. Yeah. Possibly Loftus-Cheek and Dujon Sterling, right? Because he's been very impressed with him. Now,
he was
he was outstanding. On a personal note,
what about the new Fabregas?
Drink water.
Yeah.
He had a good game actually, didn't he?
Yeah,
fantastic game.
The trouble with Drinkwater and Barkley is their off-pitch issues, which they just can't seem to keep their head straight. But I do want to make one other point, right? I'm a person who likes to have 4 strikers, right? I don't care even if he only's playing one up front. I don't think that Tuchel sees Werner as a striker. I think he's got other ideas about him, right? So, me, sign Haaland, keep Broja, and I'd keep Ugbo as well, because you're going to get 3, 4, 5 million for him, which is peanuts. And that's a guy who scored 16 goals last season with a mediocre team in Belgium, right? Keep him, nurture him, just like we're going to do with Broja. So I just think he's got it. You don't get 16 goals in Belgium in a mediocre team unless you've got something, and that's why teams are after him. But if we did, I think what will happen is we'll sell him. But I think that's short-sightedness for 4 or 5 million. I don't think it's.
All right. I'm gonna.
I think just one last thing. I think that we're in for an exciting 7 to 10 days coming up.
Yeah, I
agree.
I
Things are going to
agree.
start flying now because he's going to
I
want.
agree.
If you get Haaland, he's going to want him to play at least one game. He's training, so he's getting his fitness levels, right? And he's the type of player you can just throw on the pitch, and people like Ziyech, Pulisic, all that lot are going to be creating chances which he's going to take. He doesn't have to be playing with them, right? Because they create the type of chances that he would thrive on. So if we're going to get him, it's going to be in the next 7 to 10 days, so we can get a game in for him.
Stav, you might as well carry on for 2 more minutes and give me your final thoughts, mate.
Yeah, like I said, I think we're in for a good season, but a striker is important. You can't go into this season with just Broja and Werner. I think Tuchel knows what he's doing. I think Marina's going to pull it out in the bag, and I'm just looking forward to the season. If I'm going to be honest, the beginning of last season, when we started losing those games under Lampard, I just lost interest, and I could see it coming. I actually said to a lot of people, don't get carried away because we went top, didn't we, after the Tottenham game. I said, don't get carried away because this is where we're going to get found out. And for me, you've got Tuchel, who knows how to defend, and you had Lampard, who had no defensive nous whatsoever. Even as a player, he couldn't defend. And I'm looking forward to it. I've lost interest. I mean, after 51 years, I'm not going to just stop watching, right, obviously, or supporting, right. But I just couldn't see it. I couldn't see where we were going or where he was going. And I'll tell you one last thing, which I find laughable, is that Jody Morris is going for the Swansea job. I've never seen a number 2 so quiet, right, and he just didn't seem committed to me. He was always sat on the bench with his arms crossed, and I find it laughable.
Where's John Terry going? Where's John Terry going?
Right, JT, he is a true legend, right, man and boy, yeah. He's done it the right way. He's got a 2-year education as a number 2. If he's got any brains, he'll start off League One or Championship and have a couple of years there and not jump into the Premiership straight away and prove himself. But he's done it the right way. Lampard just went straight into a job. He was on TV. Next thing, he's at Derby because his uncle knew the chairman of Derby. And then he got the Chelsea job. I mean, but JT's doing it the right way for me.
Yeah,
he's gone and got an education. And I think he's better with people because Lampard, he has, although he was one of the leaders, he had a more withdrawn personality.
Yeah,
character.
The thing is with John Terry, you better be nice to him, otherwise you got worried about your missus.
Yeah, you're gonna.
So I guess it's.
You're gonna check. Nah. Hang on a minute. That wasn't Wayne Bridges' missus. That was his ex-girlfriend. Yeah. Weren't even married. Right. Anyway, John Terry's king, and maybe big up, 4 or 5 years.
One of the best, if not the best, defenders ever to wear the Chelsea blue, in my opinion.
For me, him and Tony Adams, best defenders in the Premiership ever.
Him
and Tony, and it's painful to say Tony Adams.
I know, but Tony Adams for me was an English legend. So. Don't matter that he was for Arsenal, but he was an English legend. Yeah, even Sol Campbell, in my opinion, was one of the best in the this time.
Mo,
I support Cyprus.
I'm just about to jump up. Just wanted to drop my quick 2 minutes.
Go ahead, Blue Eyes.
Yeah. Anyways, again, I'm just an eager Chelsea fan that wants to see business done. Hopefully before end of this week. Can't wait Don't know much about Jules Kounde. I've watched some of his games, but let's get it done. Let's get it done. And Haaland, it would be nice to get Haaland done by Friday, by end of business Friday.
Wednesday. Next Wednesday.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm thinking this Friday. Get it done this Friday so that we can have a good weekend.
This Friday?
Yeah,
Blue Ice. He's got a bet on Blue Ice.
Yeah,
he's got
exactly.
A bet on Blue Ice.
Yeah. Let's get it done this Friday, and so we can have a great weekend. But otherwise, up the Chelsea. Remember, we're the champions of Europe, so don't stress yourselves too much. Gentlemen, have a great evening.
Blue Ice, it's a pleasure having you on, mate, and I hope to see you again in the future.
For sure, Mo. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Take care, brother. Cheers.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. Talk Blue.
Hello.
Tell me. Wait. Before you speak, guys, I'm gonna bet. I'm not gonna put any value on it, but I guarantee you we're gonna hear a lot about Armando Broja in his last 2 minutes. Talk Blue, take it away.
I hope you guys know that I wouldn't say I'm a Chelsea fan, but I follow like Chelsea's loan players like Broja and these Albanian players. So I wouldn't say I'm a Chelsea fan. So hear me out. I'm gonna try and give some advice, non-biased advice, because obviously I'm not very Chelsea fan like that. Okay. Number one, I think Chelsea. I don't know, with them selling Zouma and the way they play, it's very non-physical. It's not very physical. It's very light possession, passing, all of this, and I feel like bringing in Haaland or having a Broja, it just adds that strength, because right now Werner, Havertz, and Mount obviously not known for their physicality, known for their pace, movement, all of this. Bringing it that number 9. And you also have Jorginho and Kante, not very physically strong people. Their centre backs, Rudiger, is not very strong physically. You have Christensen, Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva is not known very much physical. You can have Kounde, Azpilicueta, not very known for this. And I think maybe it could become an issue, because obviously it's the Premier League. When you come against different oppositions, not like I would say I would say the lower ones that use physicality for advantage. So I think yes, Broja should come in. I think he's got pace, all of these things. I've seen him at Vitesse. He's got shot power. He can shoot, not scared to shoot from outside the box. He uses his mind. He's very, very sneaky in the box. Very smart. He's very smart. Non-hesitant. No hesitation at all. If he wants to do something, he will do it 100% sure. And I've seen Abraham play. Is a bit way different. Abraham is very hesitant. Armando Broja is just straight up. He's it. I think he's it. And one thing I have to say, it's Broja, not Broja.
Broja.
That's one thing. I've had the commentator say it. Yeah.
Broja. Okay. Armando Broja.
Yeah. So
thank you.
Yeah, that's all I want to say. Just the physicality.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your insight. Always appreciate your insight.
Good luck for Chelsea this season.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're Albanian, aren't you?
Yeah.
Go deep, my man. I'm giving you the last shout. So, give me your 2 minutes of final thoughts. Let's hear it, mate. Take it away.
Thanks, mate. So, actually, I trust our manager a lot. He has always come up with solutions, no matter what the problem was. So, it's good that we get striker like Haaland. It's the best. But even if we end up not getting him, I'm sure that he will have a plan for that. I'm sure that Tuchel is capable of making a gameplay that will always keep Chelsea in the game and running for the title. So that's the main focus, I guess, this year, to win the title. And one thing I wanted to put it across, that I guess Chelsea needs a midfielder, in a good midfielder. I believe that, just like I'm not sure, have you guys seen Bundia from Norwich City, what Aston Villa have got? So he's a good midfielder.
Oh, he's amazing.
So,
I'm not gonna say it, but he reminds me of Eden Hazard. I've seen him play. He reminds me a bit, just a bit of Eden.
Yes, exactly. So that's the kind of player we need in the mid. Mount is great, and no doubt he's great. but we need one more player, just like Bruno Fernandes. It was a pick from just because he was bought from Man U, Manchester United. That's why he was uh, paid around 75 millions. Else, if any other club would have got him, he would have been. They can get him for like 45 million or something. So we need a good player in the mid who can pass across the line, who can pass across the defense. That's when our strikers will start uh, getting the more chances, because that is something what I have figured out, that we need one midfielder who can pass across the defense.
Yeah, we definitely need to address the midfield, especially the holding midfield situation moving
I
forward.
think, yeah,
We only
attacking is
have we only have three that are solid: Kovačić, Kante, and Jorginho. We definitely need to bolster that moving forward. Him trying out Gallagher and Ruben in those roles in that match yesterday, I wasn't too comfortable with that, but we'll see how this situation pans out moving forward. Matt, thank you for the super chat, and I will definitely want to see you in one of my streams. You've been promising to jump on for the past few days, and I still haven't seen you. So hopefully I'll see you in the very near future. I have Josh CFC. Josh, you literally came in as we're about to sign out, but I thought I'll allow you to come on. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to talk about anything in the Chelsea globe that we've seen over the past couple of days. So welcome to the stream, and you got 5 minutes, mate.
I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, I caught that right as I was jumping on. I think he's trying to wrap up, but I appreciate the time. I'll just say this. I think I'm with everybody else who want to get Erling Haaland in the door. The sooner the better, but as long as it gets done, I don't really care when. I'd love to see. I love the Jules Kounde signing. I think Jules Kounde will surprise a lot of Chelsea fans. He's an incredible player. Both two-footed, probably play three positions for us. The guy, tremendous pace. I'm a big fan. I think Chelsea fans are going to be very pleased with him. And then lastly, I think in the midfield, you were just speaking about getting some depth. For me, a guy who I hear they're targeting, and I hope that they complete this target, is Tchouaméni at Monaco. I think sensational player. Young, fits the profile, plays as an 8, plays as a 6, can play as an attacking midfielder if needed. Great passer of the ball, got the Cesc Fabregas seal of approval. Petr Cech loves him as well. For me, he's a guy who can come in and be able to play off the bench right away. You don't have to pay a large sum of money for him and have to put him in the team. He can play cup games. He can learn behind, Kante and George and Kovačić. I do think next year probably George and Kovačić will move on. So I think the midfield is a position that we're going to want to build depth for. That's why I say a guy like Declan Rice, you put off for this year. It's not a necessary signing for the season, especially given the evaluation. And maybe next year he's a guy who can force a move, and you could bring him in to replace a George or a Kovačić if they decide to move on. But for me, those are the three guys I'd love to bring in: Kounde, Haaland, and Tchouaméni. If we get them in the door, I think fantastic window for Chelsea. And as far as the outgoing players, those will take care of themselves. Tammy Abraham is an obvious one, but the rest will get themselves sorted out. Just get those three guys in the door, and then I think we're looking really solid for the upcoming season.
Yeah,
so again, I appreciate the time.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. And in regards to Kounde and Tchouaméni, they both have the same agent. So the fact that we're dealing with Kounde right now, I wouldn't be surprised to hear the Tchouaméni situation also become apparent in the next couple of days, because that is a position we are definitely needing to bolster.
Right.
And I think the fact that Tuchel is trying to play players in that position in these preseason matches, it might show that we want to have a backup plan just in case it doesn't happen. But I think it is something that is in the works. In regards to Haaland, though, Josh, I wanna ask you a question in regards to the Haaland deal.
Yeah.
As you know, today we've heard this story that Chelsea are preparing to make a £110 million bid for Lukaku. Now, that is a story which has, I don't know, has a lot of people thinking that it might be fake. It might be one of those, smoke screen type of scenarios. I want to know what your thoughts are on this.
Yeah, I think that's one of those stories that, I mean, listen, Chelsea do their business behind closed doors. They just do. So any journalist who says he knows what's going on, you don't. I think Jan is probably the closest to the entire thing because he's close with the Holland family. Aside from Jan, guys coming out with stories, these are stories that are several weeks old, things that have happened, or maybe a week, 7-10 days prior to that. So if there's any story coming out about Chelsea and Lukaku, I would say it's either a story that Chelsea put out there to sort of take away some of the heat from the Holland deal, but I don't see there being anything there with Lukaku. I mean, I do like Romelu Lukaku as a player, but he's not going anywhere this year. He doesn't want the move. Inter don't really need to sell him. I just don't think there's anything there. I think Chelsea have been on the Erling Haaland train since the day one of the transfer window. They've been trying to build and repair that relationship with Mano. And I think it would go a long way. And I do agree with what Jan said. If Chelsea place an official bid, it'll be a bid they know will be accepted. And I just think there's a lot going on with this deal. It's a very, very big transfer. So there's a lot of things to get, dot the I's and cross the T's on this. So I don't think there's anything to those reports other than just Chelsea or somebody inside Chelsea kind of feeding journalist stories. But I think it's all about Erling Haaland, and I hope to hear something hopefully in the next week and a half.
Yeah, definitely. I think in the next week to 10 days, something will definitely be apparent, and I think it's going to be either Erling Haaland or bust. I think Chelsea are putting all of their efforts into this, and the fact that we haven't heard anything really come out from Chelsea to agree or disagree with any of these stories that we're hearing, I think that's a positive aspect, because I think, like you said, Chelsea do their work behind closed doors, and with them being so quiet and so secretive about this deal, it makes me a little bit more confident that there is something behind it. Josh, thank you for coming on. Next time, hopefully we'll see you earlier in the stream, so that you get involved in the debate. Stav, Gurdeep, and everybody who was here in the stream. It was a brilliant banter, a good discussion. Everyone who donated to the stream, a big thank you. And I'll probably be streaming tomorrow if there's more news. Over the next couple of days, we are bound to hear little bits of news on a daily basis. I think.
Let's come back after
We'll come back after every event, because this is going to be an interesting couple of weeks before the season kicks off. So there's going to be a lot going on, and once the season kicks off, we'll be doing a regular schedule. Anyway, lads, thank you all for being here. Have a great day, and I will catch you in my next upload. Take care of yourselves. Peace out.
Mate. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Bye.